Hello, amazing galactic family. Today is the Red Magnetic Serpent, so we're beginning a new wave spell cycle, the wave spell of the Red Serpent. If you're new here, my name is Andra, and in this video we're going over the code, structure, and philosophy of the Dream Spell calendar, inspired by the ancient Mayan calendar, aligned with the cycles of the moon, the sun, and the galaxy, composed of the 30-moon calendar and the Tzolkin. If you're new to all of this, you're going to want to check out the videos, the structure of the 30-moon calendar and the structure of the Tzolkin. And besides beginning the Red Serpent Wavespell, we are also entering a new castle cycle, the Blue Eastern Castle of Burning. For more information about what wave spells and castles are, you can watch the videos, the structure of wave spells and the 5 destiny castles. In this castle cycle is where a lot of transformation and transmutation happens with the wave spells of the Red Serpent, White Mirror, Blue Monkey, and the Yellow Seed. If we look at the Tzolkin, this is where we are, and you can see what lies ahead. In the Serpent wave spell, we have 10 consecutive gap days or Galactic Activation Portal days, one after another, and also in the Yellow Seed wave spell. I discuss more about gap days in the video, The Gap Days. These consecutive gap days are the Alpha and the Omega run that I talk about in the video, The Alpha and the Omega Run. And this is how the wave spell of the Red Serpent looks like, moving through the 13 solar seals placed on the positions of the 13 lunar tones, beginning with the Red Magnetic Serpent up until the Red Cosmic Earth. So let's explore the Red Serpent energy. His Mayan name is Tzolkin. He is the guardian of the instinctual part of our brain, carrying the spark of the instinctive fire. He connects us with our instincts, our vitality, our motivation, our passions, our desires, our sensuality, our sexuality, our vital life force. He embodies life's desire to be in a physical body and to explore our instinctual nature that paradoxically brings a deep spiritual opening. For me, the connection between the Yellow Human, the previous wave spell, and the Red Serpent is pretty spot on because one unlocks the other. They're both about reconnecting with the pleasures of being in a physical form. And they both use the body and the senses to expand their awareness. Because it's wrong to think of the body as something that we need to detach from in order to connect with the spiritual realms. The body is in fact a vehicle through which we can experience the spiritual world in this reality. After all, we are the divine consciousness experiencing life in human flesh. Our desires are simply tools to understand ourselves more deeply, and they also help us have a much more richer human experience. Obviously, yes, the ego can get a little bit lost in all of these desires, and this is part of the shadow of the Red Serpent. He, just as the Yellow Human, can get lost in the realm of the senses. But if we are repressing our desires, we are actually causing a lot of internal damage. The thing is that this Red Serpent energy is quite misunderstood in our society. In Christian religion, the power of our instincts was feared. But if we move towards cultures such as the Mayans and the indigenous tribes throughout South America, the serpent is a sacred animal. The Huniquin tribe from Brazil call the serpent spirit Jiboia, and it carries a very deep wisdom of transformation. So I'm wearing my Huniquin jewelry in honor of this energy. And the Mayans also associated this animal with rebirth and transformation due to its ability to shed its skin multiple times throughout its life. In our culture, the energy of our instincts is demonized, described as the devil's weapon, tempting people to fall into the never-ending suffering of hell. But actually, this shadow of becoming slaves to our sensual desires is manifesting precisely because most of us deny and repress our instinctive needs. Because all of the energy that we are repressing accumulates within our unconscious mind and it builds up within us. By repressing and rejecting our instincts and desires, we aren't actually doing ourselves any good. All of these repressed emotions, needs, and desires can make us act very compulsively. Controlling our body's needs and desires is a super difficult task, but we cannot gain mastery over them if we repress them. We need to accept our desires and needs. We need to understand them and to understand their root cause, because if we find the root source of our needs and desires, that's when we become able to truly fulfill them. So the Red Serpent invites us on an exploration of our relationship with our instinctive needs and desires. He reminds us that there's nothing wrong with enjoying life in a physical body as long as you don't get too attached and identified with it, which obviously can be one of the shadows of the Red Serpent. Red Serpent teaches us how to follow our instincts and our intuition more than our intellect. He knows instinctively without being able to rationally explain why he knows those things, and he's usually right. Our instincts are a very powerful gift that we all carry, but because of the education we receive and the fact that our instinctive fire is seen as something dangerous, and because we have moved away from the energy of Mother Earth, our instincts are buried deep within us. But all the rest of nature is following the simple yet primordial wisdom of our instincts. So the Red Serpent invites us to bring our instincts back to the surface, and he helps us understand the hidden language of our instincts so that we can tap into their wisdom. I'm sure all of you have had experiences where your instincts were telling you one thing, but you chose to ignore them, only to later on say, I knew it, I knew my instincts were right. Because we're just so afraid to follow them. And this is exactly what happens for the Red Serpent in the shadows, where he disconnects from his instincts and he starts making predictable choices based on familiarity and security. This is because the Red Serpent becomes so scared of losing the pleasures that he enjoys so much, so he begins to create a life based on a safe routine that offers him all of the comforts and the pleasures that he wants. But even if his physical needs and desires are being met, life becomes almost empty with no more spark or magic, no more surprises to it. And when we're afraid to listen to our instincts, we are dismissing the vastness and the depth of our being and of life, and we focus our attention only on pleasure, security, and comfort. And too much comfort can kill you, because comfort means that we stop growing and evolving, because growth comes from those uncomfortable situations we always try to avoid. Also, the Red Serpent represents the perfect alignment between our soul and our physical body, a time for attuning to the infinite wisdom of our body and learning how to follow its guidance. The body never lies. It stores all the vital information about ourselves. It has a special type of consciousness that gives us access to the more subtle bodies, mental, emotional, spiritual. The body is kind of like a map of what is going on in our other more subtle bodies. And this is kind of where I feel that Western medicine got it wrong. We look more at the symptoms of a sickness, or we analyze the biological mechanisms behind a sickness or a physical pain, but we don't really understand its cause, because it's not just about what's going on within the physical. It's about what's going on in the other more subtle bodies as well, and how they influence our physical body. I know way too many people who are sick and the doctors don't know how to diagnose them, or sometimes people are diagnosed with diseases and the doctors have no clue where that disease is coming from. Or this is why people who live the most healthy lifestyle possible still get cancer or autoimmune diseases. Because it's not just about what we feed our physical body with. It's about what we are also feeding our subtle bodies with. So even if I'm eating all the right food, I am exercising, doing breath work, meditating and all of that, if I am repressing emotions, if I have unhealthy thoughts, or if I'm disconnected from my soul and its wishes, I can still get sick. Thankfully, there are people out there who are working on helping us identify the root cause of a sickness through tools such as biodecoding, where the physical symptoms are connected to things happening within the more subtle bodies. The point is that this red serpent energy helps us use the body as a tool to discover and heal our blockages. When a sickness, a pain, a discomfort manifests within our life and our body, it's not about popping a pill to make the symptoms go away. It's about asking ourselves, where is this pain coming from and what's the reason it manifested within my body? What's my body trying to communicate? In the shadows, the red serpent ends up having a very bad relationship with the body because it fails to ask these questions, and he doesn't really understand the connection between the physical body and the subtle bodies, which makes him very confused and angry towards the body. He feels as if the body is working against him, forgetting that the body is just trying to talk to him and to guide him towards the things within his being that he needs to purify. And it's so important to understand this connection between the body and the subtle bodies. So the red serpent invites us to heal our connection with our body and to really listen to what it's trying to communicate to us, which is why many times red serpent wave spells can manifest things within our physical body so that we can start this purification process. I've experienced this a lot on different red serpent days or wave spells where I'd either hit myself or be in pain, or I would experience a sickness or a discomfort because it was my body trying to get my attention and to point out the things that I'm not doing right for myself. I actually stepped on a sea urchin with my left foot in a red serpent wave spell while I was in Thailand. Because it was actually my body trying to get my attention that I'm going in the wrong direction. It was the most painful thing I've ever experienced, and it took me like a whole year to recuperate and be able to walk properly, so avoid sea urchins. But this is what I mean by the fact that the red serpent wave spell uses the body in order to really point out that there's something that is out of balance within our being. Also, the red serpent is the awakener of the Kundalini energy that is lying asleep inside the root chakra. Kundalini represents the vital life force energy that is within all of us, and it's represented as a serpent coiled around the root chakra. This energy can arise and move up the spinal column during intense mystical experiences, and it opens up all the chakras all the way to the crown chakra. But this energy arises within us when our body, mind, and soul are in alignment, and raising our Kundalini energy means that we are disciplined in our mind and our body. So the red serpent teaches us how to align our whole being so that we can cleanse our inner temple and allow the divine higher self to enter it. So during this wave spell, take the time to really connect with your body and to listen to its language. What is your body trying to communicate to you? Are you nourishing your body? Are you embracing your instinctual nature? Or are you rejecting it out of fear? Are your body, mind, and soul in alignment? Are you treating your body as a temple? Do you have a good relationship with your body? Or are you neglecting it? Or maybe you feel as if your body is sabotaging you? Are you stuck in the never-ending desires of the physical body? Or are you able to go to the root cause of your needs and desires in order to be able to actually fulfill them. So that's it for today. If you have any questions about the Dream Spell calendar, if you're interested in decoding your galactic signature through a galactic signature decoding session, or if you want to purchase one of the Dream Spell Orgonite pendants in alignment with your kin, you can contact me either on my Facebook page or on my email. You can also take a look at the video Dream Spell Orgonite pendants to see how these pendants are made. And don't forget to click follow on my Instagram page, details in the description. Wishing you a purifying wave spell, and I will see you on the white magnetic mirror. In Lakesh.